Hey everybody, welcome to today's episode of the Note Closer Show. It is Tuesday, and I thought I'd do a little throwback episode today with us talking about owner finance notes and the appropriate way to structure your owner finance note deal. But before I get into that, I want to thank everybody that joined us last night on Note Night in America, Stripped Down Marketing. Good. I think we had a good episode. I think a lot of people enjoyed me spend time on the dry erase board, along with giving everybody the 9 action items to take place between now and Wednesday. Now, if you missed that episode, you should go to our Vimeo page, vimeo.com/WeCloseNotes to catch tomorrow afternoon. We gave everybody some things to focus on to get done by 5 o'clock on Wednesday to make things happen. Now, if you joined us last Thursday, we did a big thing on the Content Spider. And we've been keeping track of our posts and things like that, so we'll have an update for that come Thursday. But really want to give a shout out to Chris Mays, who last night, as soon as we got off the webinar, he went on, did his own Facebook Live, I think for the first time, to break down a rental property that he's selling and why it's better to be an investor versus a traditional property owner. So kudos to you, Chris. Good job. Great job, great first video, great way to get things rocking and rolling for you, so that's awesome. But anyway, getting to today, because if you did not know today is National Something on a Stick Day, along with National Weed Appreciation Day. So for our friends in Colorado, Oregon, Washington, D.C., and wherever the green bud is legal, today's your National Weed Appreciation Day. So
it's time to eat something on a stick.
Yeah, so the two go hand in hand together. When you get the munchies, eat something on a stick. Corn dogs, hot dogs, kebabs. Anyway.
Or just put anything on a stick.
Anything on a stick. Just don't eat shit on a stick. Anyway. So today, like I said, we'll talk about owner finance. The reason I bring this up is in the last 3 or 4 days, I've gotten phone calls from people who have owner finance notes for sale. And I'm asking them questions about their note deal, and immediately I know it's an unsellable note for them. And you probably won't, well, why, Scott? What did you ask them? Well, there's a couple of things. One, first thing I always ask, okay, is what's the, is it performing or non-performing? And if it's performing, great. If it's non-performing and it's an owner finance note, that's not a good thing. It usually comes down to the next question. If they tell me it's non-performing, I ask, well, what was the down payment? And I often see people that will do very little down payment with an owner finance note deal. I talked to a lady yesterday. She goes, oh, I didn't have them put anything down. It's a $173,000 mortgage. They owe about $172,000 in change. They're also 2 months delinquent. I'm like, you're not going to sell that note. You're going to have to foreclose. And another thing, too, you asked what the interest rate was. She goes, oh, it's 4% interest rate. I'm like, 4%? Wow. I says, yeah, you would not get much of a deal at all. It's probably going to be your best interest to foreclose because you're not going to like what my offer comes back, even if they were performing what the bid would be. So what I thought I would do is go through a little bit with you today as kind of a throwback to when I used to create a lot of owner finance. There's a lot of wraparound mortgages for note investors, and I also advised a lot of people on how to properly structure their owner finance note deal. Now, but about a year ago, we had Daniel Malcolm on from First National Acceptance Corporation, a buddy of mine. He'll be on Note Camp 3.0, April 20th through the 23rd. You've got basically 4 days to take advantage of getting your last chance discount code if you want to sign up for Note Camp 3.0.
Still drunk notes?
No, it's last chance. All capitals if they want to use that last chance to get $100 off. Otherwise, it will go to $297 for sure come Saturday. But anyway, Daniel came on. We had him on a Monday night, one of the highest rated Monday night calls, talking about the best way to structure notes so that his company, First National Acceptance Corporation, would buy their notes. And he talks about the 10-10-10 model. Okay? So with the 10-10-10 model, 10-10-10, 10 is basically down payment, interest rate, and balloon, if possible. Okay? You want to have at least a 10% down payment. Makes it desirable, as close to a 10% interest rate as possible. And if you're only doing a couple notes a year, then you want it to be somewhere around a 10-year balloon. Now, that doesn't mean it's amortized over 10 years. It could be a 30-year AM with a 10-year balloon. something that's going to make that note much more palatable to a note investor to get paid off faster versus holding on to it for 30 years. All right. So I expect some of you guys and gals that are watching this morning to have questions. So feel free, post your questions in the comments, and then Nicole or Greg or Jen will let me know what they are, and we'll go from there. So that's a great way. So if you have a 10% interest rate, especially for note investors that are looking to make a 12% return on their investment, they're only going to give you a little bit of a discount. All right. Now, if they're looking for 12%, and you give somebody a 6% interest rate, you have to realize that you're going to take a 50% haircut like that. Okay? And most people own or finance a property because they can't find traditional buyers who can get qualified. Yes, I do know there's a lot of people out there that can't qualify traditionally right now. It doesn't mean they're bad people. Maybe they have more down payment. Maybe they've got a credit score issue. Maybe they lost a job or were sick or went through bankruptcy or a short sale years ago. I get it. Bad things happen to good people. Okay, we all go through financial hiccups, financial hurdles. But if you're going to own or finance, you can't give somebody something that they can't go out and get on their own. When you look at a 10% interest rate, people might, oh my God, 10%, I want 4. Well, go get 4. I was talking to a mortgage broker here in, first Independence Title office we have here in our offices. And I was asking her what the interest rates were that she's seeing. She's like, see, 4, 4.5, 4.6. And I'm like, that's not bad. She's like, I know it's cheap money, and people are complaining they're not getting 3 anymore. I'm like, well, I think those days are over because the interest rates are climbing up. So you have to keep that in mind as a note investor. If you're going to offer somebody a owner financing, what's a market rate for somebody owner financing? It's not 4%. It's not 5. It's not 6. I would make it 9.9, 9%. Only way I would go down from that is if they brought cash to the table. Now, I'm going to want at least a good 10% down payment from somebody. All right? Skin in the game. The more skin in the game they have, the more motivated they are to pay on time. The less skin they have in the game, the more likely they're going to default and walk away from it. So that's one thing you keep in mind. If you're going to offer owner financing, you want to make sure somebody's got 10% down payment to make that note more desirable later on the back end. Okay? Now, balloons we'll get to least and foremost, but you got to remember, down payment and interest rate are two of the most important things. Now, how you structure it if somebody has a 10% down payment will also affect the resaleability and the timeliness of you being able to maybe get the borrower to refinance out without them taking a haircut on that. But we'll cover that in a second. Want to open up, do we have any questions right now?
No, not right now. No.
Not right now, okay. Pay attention, everybody. This is going to be good. So, I'm going to show, so let's say, go here. All right. You got a house.
Oh, actually, we do have a question right now.
Okay, what's the question?
Michelle Apt asked, can you do a balloon payment selling as an LLC under Dodd-Frank?
I believe so. I believe you can do a balloon payment. Because you're doing less than 4 a year, I believe it falls into that exclusivity. I think you can do that, or that exception, not exclusivity. Okay? We're not here to talk about Dodd-Frank for the most part. Okay? I'm not a Dodd-Frank expert, but from when I've talked with people that are doing a lot of owner financing right now or doing a lot of stuff like this is one of the better ways to do it. Okay? So you got a house here. We'll just make it simple. 100K, fair market value. Okay? Now, what happens if you do the 10, 10, 10 is you basically, a lot of people will do spread out into 10 things. So you do 10% down payment. Sorry. Well, that's going to leave a 90% first, right? Yes, that's what most people will do. I don't think that's a good way to do it still. I think you need to do the 10, 10, 80 model. Why? Well, I'll share with that in a second. And this is more for you, the note investor, the person who holds the property, than it is for the person that you're lending to. Now, whether you do a 90% second or an 80 and a 10%, an 80% first and a 10% second, if you have it at the same interest rate, It doesn't matter. The payment's still the same. But it helps the borrower in the long run. So, whether you have it as a 90, I'm sorry, an 80, 10, or a 90%, if you did 9% interest rate here and then 9 here and 9 here, the exact payment's going to be the same. It's going to be the same principal and interest payment or interest only payment across the board. Does not matter. The borrower is still paying the same amount. What is different when you break it up into an 80-10 or 10 with a down payment as well, 80-10-10, is it becomes much easier for the borrower, to go out and get refinanced out with conventional financing at 80% loan to value. Now, if there's a little bit of appreciation that takes place the first year, 2 years, they may be sitting at 78, 75% LTV on that first mortgage. What does that mean to you? Well, they can go get traditional financing, get you refinanced out. You get dollar for dollar on your 80% first lien, or what is owed, and you hold a second for cash flow. Mailbox money. Okay? Or you could negotiate with a borrower for a settlement. Oh, here, give me half, I'll give you half. All right? What happens if you do a 90% first lien and they only can get an 80% first lien with traditional financing and refi? You're going to lose that 10%. All right? This is the biggest mistake I see note investors make. They do 100% first lien or they do a 95% first lien. They don't take it that one extra step. So listen, we're going to break it up and do a first and a second lien for you so that when you work on your credit, which you're going to, Mr. and Mrs. Barber, the next year, year and a half, or 2 years, in a year and a half, if you want to get refinanced out, you want to get out this 9% or 9.9% interest rate, you can do so, and this becomes a much more attractive loan for a banker to refinance. They would rather do a refi than an origination, because if somebody's been paying on time for 12 to 18 months, that's a much more attractive borrower than somebody who's brand new out there. All right? Any questions so far pop up?
Not yet.
Is this, if you like this, make sure to say like in the video right now. I'll tell you what, too. We'll do a little thing. If you will do a hashtag note nuggets and share this across the board, I might just throw in a little special surprise for some of you guys and gals out there. We'll do it for the first 5 people that do that, because I can see who pops up, who shared it. Hashtag note nuggets out there and shared it across their profile. We'll have a little special surprise for some of you. All right. So that's the biggest thing about note investing when you're doing owner financing. Don't have a first more than 80%. Get as much of a down payment as possible. 10% is preferred or more. If you get 15% down payment, great, do an 85. Or a 75 first and a 10% second. So that's really attractive, because they know investors are going to look at they're going to go only to about 80% of loan to value on the property. That's all they really want to be into on the first. If you did 100% first and no down payment, you're going to take a big steep haircut of somewhere between 25, 20, maybe even up to 30%, depending on how low your interest rate is on the overall mortgage. Remember, if a borrower can't get traditional financing, don't give them a rate that they can't qualify for. If they can qualify for it, make them go out and get FHA and then pay you off so you can walk paid in full. If you're going to carry paper, you've got to make it worth your time. I've known several people I've talked to, like I said last week, offered 4%, 5% interest rates on owner financing. I'm like, what were you thinking? Did you take somebody's class that didn't tell you these things? And that's what I think is going on out there. There's a lot of people teaching owner financing that isn't taking into consideration the resellability of that note, but they're also, another big mistake that causes a lot of these owner finance notes not to work is they put somebody in a house that they can't afford to. One thing you have to keep in mind, besides this, I'm going to erase this, is debt to income levels. You don't really want to put somebody in where their monthly payment to you, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, is really greater than 38% of their income. Okay? You don't want to put them in anything more than 38%, because that's going to be harder for them to make the payments because they're going to be stretched. All right? This is important. I see people that are putting owner financing. I'm like, how much the borrower make? Oh, they made 25 grand a year. I'm like, well, they can't afford this. You still can't afford the payments. No, this is going to go sideways. Even though you want to be rid of that asset, a lot of people are lazy when it comes to taking the first crumb that's offered. Be smart. Make sure you get a good down payment. You give it a good market rent. A market interest rate that the borrower deserves. Not what they want, what they deserve. Okay. You may often want to go ahead and have them pull their credit scores. You may want to have them jump on, check their credit so you can see what kind of credit scores. Because if they've got a 400 credit score, they're never going to refinance you out. They got a 500, not so good. That's also important when it comes to selling your note. A lot of note buyers will want a borrower who has a decent credit score in the 600s. If you have somebody that's 500 or 540, yeah, they're not going to buy that note from you unless they put a lot down and they got a lot of history, 2 years or more in seasoning on that note. That's another thing. When you create an owner finance note, you have to expect to carry that paper for 12 to 18 months to get a decent price. If you can't afford to carry the note for 12 to 18 months and hold on to it for cash flow, hold on to that asset for 12 to 18 months, don't owner finance it. Sell it conventionally. Take a bit of a discount now to get that asset moved and be done with it. Does it make sense, everybody? I think it does. Yeah. Questions, comments from anybody?
Not really. Hold on, let me.
Anybody share stuff?
Back up. Yeah, Cody Cox was the first one to share.
That doesn't surprise me.
Rick Salinger, I like this very much. Very good and clear explanation. Jason Cisneros, I can't afford a haircut because you're talking about. Yeah, I'll tell you what. In Jason's case, he would be getting scalped because he's bald. I do want to mention something like Michelle Apt asked something before, and Cody actually replied to her. They've been having a small conversation about it, and I just really want to point out that our note family is really great with support. So yeah, that's a great thing. I love it when our note family comes together and really kind of networks together. Michelle Apt is in Detroit area. Cody's in Portland. There's a group of people getting together tonight in Dallas, having dinner together, which is great. They're out networking and sharing ideas. It's a beautiful thing. It's also beautiful on Basecamp, and we see that too on the Facebook page. We love seeing that, and I think that's one of the biggest strengths about the note industry is a lot more co-opetition versus competition out there. So if you've never been to one of our workshops or been to the note camp, I think that's one of the most beautiful things is seeing people ask questions before, during, and after in Basecamp. That really helps answer a lot of questions, helps educate people out there. It's great. There's other things out there like Bigger Pockets and other things like that. Unfortunately, I like Bigger Pockets to an extent, except to the point where you get a lot of trolls that aren't doing anything. People giving advice that haven't closed deals, and I would rather seek counsel than advice because everybody has advice like an asshole, and you don't want to take advice from an asshole. You want to take advice and seek counsel from those that are actually in those steps, have been where you're wanting to go, and can guide you along the way, guide you along the path. So, pardon my French this morning, but I'm a little fired up this morning. I'm a little hungry too.
It's Taco Tuesday.
It is Taco Tuesday. There's only 3 more Taco Tuesdays till note camp.
We keep track of Taco Tuesdays.
We might need to eat some tacos this morning. I'm getting hungry now for tacos.
Yeah, that's about it.
That's it. So, guys and gals, when you're looking at an owner finance deal, if you're trying to do that, feel free to email me. Drop me an email, tell me what you're doing, tell me the property value. This is another thing, I almost forgot about this. Don't make the amount of the loan so much more than the property value. I see that happen. Oh, the house is worth 100. We're going to make it for 110. You're basically, if you've got to sell that note in 10 months or 12 months, you ain't getting that extra. You're taking a write down. All right? Just goes to the bank, yes, you can sell it for a little bit more above 5%, which is about as max as high in an overage on the mortgage than what you can do. Now, don't get me wrong, I know that a lot of lenders out there, especially mobile home lenders, would do up to 125% LTV. They would roll in the land payments, credit card debt. You see that on negative AMs that were around there for a while. 125% loan to value. Give you some cash to make some stuff. Those loans are set to fail from the get-go. All right? So keep that in mind. Don't over-wrap the mortgage. Wraparound mortgages are great too if you've got a low LTV. It's also not bad if you've got if you owe a lot on a house and have some equity, either have a low interest rate and you need to move the house, offering owner financing is great with a higher interest where it's a wraparound mortgage. Just make sure that the payments encompass the mortgage and is not set to accelerate faster than what the underlying debt is. All right. Any other questions, comments?
Not today. Not right now.
So, guys, those are my tricks for owner financing. Very simple thing: 80-10-10. If you only got 5% down, do 80-15-5. You do want to consult a licensed national loan mortgage originator, an NMLO, so that they can put on. You can usually find one to put their stamp of approval on the paperwork for $1,000. If you can structure the mortgage so it looks like an original document, credit paperwork, W-2s, I was about to say YouTube tickets, W-2s, pay stubs, have them fill out a full loan application, a 1003. Those things are important and make the that paperwork, that loan file, so much more valuable to a note investor. Writing on a napkin or 2 pieces of paper isn't that exciting when I don't know the true story behind the story. And I guess we'll leave you with that from Paul Harvey. That's the other side of the story. All right. But anyway, guys, gals, it is Tuesday. Go make something happen. If you were on the Note Night in America last night, please go out and make something happen. You have nothing to. You can't fear failure. All right. If you do nothing, okay, the only thing you guarantee by not doing anything is failure. And if you're stuck here in a rut trying to figure out strategies or try to take action steps, choosing not to act is choosing to fail. And we don't want that. We want you to succeed. We want you to rock it out. We want you to close deals. I don't care what type of deals you're doing as long as you're doing deals and taking action. The marketing stuff we covered last night is good across the board, whether you're a mortgage broker, real estate agent, entrepreneur, whatever. It's out there for you to make things happen. So we look forward to seeing your submissions later today and tomorrow. For those that join us there. Like I said, if you have any questions about how you want to structure an owner finance deal, feel free to drop me an email at scott@weclosenotes.com. I'm glad to visit with you for a few minutes. You want to talk notes? I'm always glad to talk to anybody. Feel free to drop us an email. Once again, scott@weclosenotes. If you're not signed up for our note drafts, note funding link, you can go to weclosenotes.com and click on the Get Notes. You can also check out our upcoming note class in June. But most importantly, just get signed up for Note Camp. You'll get so much great information out of that April 20th through the 23rd. So once again, go to notecamp.live. Use the code LASTCHANCE, all in caps. It is case sensitive, so all in caps, last chance to get your $100 off of Note Camp Live. So if there's any questions or comments, everybody,
Don't forget to share.
make sure to share. And we'll see you all on the top. Bye, everybody.